Alright, welcome back to the Cosmic Campfire. It's the second and we're doing another classic story. Pokemon Black, also known as Pokemon Creepy Black, which it says here was originally posted anonymously on 4chan with an unknown author. But, that's fine. Let's get into it, shall we? I'm what you could call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Diamond and Jade, Chaos Black, etc. It's amazing the frequency with which you can find them at pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets and such. They're generally fun, even if they are unplayable, which they often are. Mistranslations and poor quality make them unintentionally humorous. I've been able to find most of the ones that I've played online, but there's one that I haven't seen any mention of. I bought it as a flea market about 5 years ago. Here's a picture of the cartridge in case anyone recognises it. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game, so I can't provide you with screen caps. Sorry. The game started with the familiar Nidorino and Gengar intro of Red and Blue version. However, the press start screen had been altered. Red was there, but the Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon selecting New Game, the game started the Professor Oak speech, and it quickly became evident that the game was essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, if you looked at your Pokemon, you had, in addition to Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, another Pokemon. Ghost. It was level 1 and had the sprite of the ghosts that are encountered in Lavender Town before you get the Self Scope. It had one attack called Curse. Know that there is a real move called Curse, but the attack did not exist in Generation 1, so it must have been hacked in. If any Pokemon were unable to attack the Ghost, it would only say that they were too scared to move. When the move Curse was used in battle, the screen would cut to black. The cry of the defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted, played at a much lower pitch than usual. The battle screen would then reappear, and the defending Pokemon would be gone. If used in battle against a trainer, when the Pokeballs representing their Pokemon would appear in the corner, they would have one fewer Pokeball. The implication was that the Pokemon had died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer and seeing Red receive 200 Pokédollars for winning, battle commands would appear again. If you selected Run, the battle would end as it normally does. You also select Curse, and if you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer's sprite would be gone. After leaving and re-entering the area, the spots where the trainer had been would be replaced with a tombstone like the ones in Lavender Tower. The move Curse was not useful in all instances. It would fail against ghost Pokemon and against trainers you'd have to fight again, such as your rival or Giovanni, but was usable in the final battle against them. I figured this was the gimmick of the game, allowing you to use the previously uncapturable ghosts, and because Curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the whole adventure. The game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of Ghost and a couple of Pokemon I used for HMs. The screen cut to black. Box appeared with the words "many years later." It then cut to Lavender Tower. An old man was standing, looking at tombstones. You then realised that this man was your character. The man only moved at half of the normal walking speed, had no Pokemon with you, not even Ghost, who had been impossible to remove from your party by putting it in the PC. The overworld was entirely empty. There were no people, or only the tombstones of trainers that you had used Curse on. You could go pretty much anywhere in the overworld at this point, though your movement was limited by the fact that you had no Pokemon to use HMs. And regardless of where you went, the music of Lavender Town continued in an infinite loop. After wandering for a while, I found that if you go through Diglett's cave, one of the cuttable bushes that normally blocks the path on the other side is no longer there, allowing you to advance and return to Pallet Town. Upon entering your house and going to the exact tile where you started the game, the screen would cut to black. Then, sprite of Caterpie appeared, replaced by a Weedle, a Pidgey. I soon realised as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, these were all of the Pokemon that I had used Curse on. And after the end of my rival's team, a youngster appeared, and a Bugcatcher. These were the trainers I had cursed. Throughout the sequence, the Lavender Town music was playing. It was slowly decreasing in pitch. By the time your rival appeared on screen, it was little more than a demonic rumble. Another cut to black. A few moments later, the battle screen suddenly appeared. The trainer sprite was now that of an old man. the same one as the one who teaches you how to catch Pokemon in Viridian City. Ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words "Ghost wants to fight." You couldn't choose items, you had no Pokemon. If you tried to run, you couldn't escape. The only option was fight. Using fight would immediately cause you to use struggle, which didn't affect Ghost but chipped off a bit of your own HP. When it was Ghost's turn to attack, it would simply say ... Eventually, when your HP reached a critical point, Ghost would finally use Curse. The screen cut to black a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, you are permanently stuck in this black screen. At this point, the only thing you could do was turn the Game Boy off. When you played again, New Game was the only option. The game had erased the file. I played through this hacked game many times, and every time the game ended with this sequence. Sometimes I didn't use Ghost at all, though he was impossible to remove from the party. In these cases, it did not show any Pokemon or trainers and simply cut to the climactic battle with Ghost. I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creation of this hack. It wasn't widely distributed, so it was presumably not for a monetary game. It's very well done for a bootleg. It seems he was trying to convey a message, though it seems I am the sole receiver of this message. I'm not entirely sure what it was. The inevitability of death, the pointlessness of it. Perhaps he was simply trying to morbidly inject death and darkness to a children's game. Regardless, this children's game has made me think and it has made me cry. The end. Well, that's another one that I was particularly fond of way back when. Quite like it. It's, it doesn't go super into it. It's not like there's a monster possessing the game. It's simply some guy found a modified copy of Pokémon Red that had this spooky stuff programmed into it. And that's pretty cool. I hear that someone made an actual mod for Pokémon Red, which is based on this hack in the story. I'm not sure if it actually includes the ending sequence, but I've seen a little bit of footage of it, and I know for a fact that the Ghost is there. It does have a one-hit kill move called Curse, and you can use it to delete trainers from the game. Which is all very interesting. Yeah, I think... Yeah, it looks like this has been a shorter one. That was a much shorter tale, but it seems to me that this is probably about it. Thank you for listening.